Life, like poker, has an element of risk. It shouldn't be avoided. It should be faced. The more you do your homework, the more you're free to be intuitive. But you've got to put the work in. Sometimes we don't see certain things until we're ready to see them in a certain way. As we say in the sewer, time and tide wait for no man. As we say in the sewer, if you're not prepared to go all the way, don't put your boots on in the first place. Sometimes creativity is a compulsion, not an ambition. The more you can create that magic bubble, that suspension of disbelief for a while, the better. Duality is not a story. Duality is just a complexity. Unpopular speech is absolutely vital to the health of our nation. It's better for people to miss you than to have seen too much of you. When people come together too young, they try to become one person. As you get older, you realize that you don't want to become one person, because then you lose the person you are. People think because I went to Yale that implies privilege, and it is a privilege in the sense that it's an incredible opportunity. Instead of telling the world what you're eating for breakfast, you can use social networking to do something that's meaningful. I tend to have a kind of tunnel vision when I'm looking at an individual piece. My greatest hope is that we transcend the most fearful thing, which is that we are rapidly degrading the ecological systems on this planet that support everything we are doing and all life on it. Identical twins are endemically alike in many ways. There's a lot of romanticization of the intuitive actor and method acting and all kinds of notions about getting inside a character and coming out from there. There are tens of thousands of charities and hundreds of thousands, getting towards millions, of people now using it. And when I flip through it, I'm just blown away by people. When you have a pipe salesman with a business called Maccabi Pipes, I say you've got your tongue planted firmly in your cheek. The incentive for business is not, and cannot, be anything other than the root incentive for all business. They must profit. Obviously, plastics have served very important purposes and been incredibly convenient, but as we begin to witness the long-term consequences of the chemical components leaching into our water and our bodies, we are going to be forced to look for alternatives to how we package goods and food. Practiced poorly, tourism can be extremely negative. The film industry needs to confront the physical footprint of the way films get made. Young people know how to use these social networking tools, and they know how to use them effectively. People are worried about the degree to which corporate interest is starting to threaten human interest. When you're working on a creative creative thing. Everyone has an idea, and they're pushing it. The first time you work with anybody, you have to get comfortable with the way another person pushes hard for what they want. You know, when somebody really knows what they're drawing from, and you can feel it when you see the movie. Look, you've got a generation of people coming along who are going to form their own new relationship with the idea of supporting the causes that they care about, or changing the world. And these people are not going to do it the way our parents do it. You always end up getting involved in things because of, the strange things your life brings you into contact with. You can do things in twin scenes now you couldn't before. You can implement actual moving cameras. It's dismaying to see the unilateralism that the government is doing. You know you've been around when they start to remake your own movies when you're still alive. Fame is very corrosive and you have to guard very strictly against it. You know, independent films have been institutionalized, practically. Every studio has got a boutique art house label. If two people are at completely different stages in their spiritual life, that can present a real problem. People say you can't make movies about your politics or the environment. And, generally speaking, I completely divide those sides of my brain. Everyone keeps saying the Western's dead, but it's not. You can't control everything that comes to you. Sometimes, their oppression of emotion and the weird way it comes out is more interesting than painting it in bold primary colors. If you try to make interesting films, you're going to be disappointed most of the time. I choose just not to look at it that way.